All right, welcome back. Today, we're going to become architects, but not of buildings, of our own lives. We're talking about the blueprint for building habits that actually last. So, let's just dive right in.
So let me ask you something. Ever set a huge goal for yourself only to completely abandon it like 2 weeks later? Yeah, we've all been there. You get this huge burst of motivation to get fit or learn a new skill, and then just poof, it vanishes. And you're left wondering, what just happened?
Well, here's the thing, and this is really important. You're not lazy. It's not a character flaw, and you don't just lack willpower. The real issue is that most of us are using the wrong strategy. We're literally fighting against our brain's natural programming, and that's a battle you're probably going to lose.
Okay, so where do we go wrong? What's that first big mistake? It almost always starts with our mindset. Let's talk about the first major hurdle, what I call the all or nothing trap. You know this one, right? It's that little voice in your head that goes, ugh, I skipped the gym today, so I guess the whole week is a write-off. It creates this impossibly high bar where one tiny slip-up feels like you failed completely and have to start all over again. And this quote from Dr. Brené Brown just nails it. Perfectionism is self-destructive simply because there's no such thing as perfect. Perfection is an unattainable goal. I mean, think about that. When we're chasing something that's literally impossible to achieve, we're setting ourselves up for failure. And that feeling of disappointment, it's a total motivation killer. So, this is where we have to make a huge mental shift. The goal isn't to be perfect. It's not about a flawless record. The real key? It's just consistency. It's about showing up day after day, even when it's not perfect. That's how you build real momentum.
All right, so if consistency is the goal, how do we achieve it? Now we get to the fun part, the science. To build habits that stick, we have to understand the engine that's running on autopilot inside our own brains. It's called the habit loop. Basically, it's this neurological pattern that our brain uses for every single habit we have. Think of it like a shortcut. Your brain automates behaviors to save energy, putting you on autopilot for a huge chunk of your day.
And this loop has 4 simple stages. You've got the cue, which is the trigger, the craving, which is the motivation, the routine, that's the actual behavior, and finally the reward, the payoff. Let's use morning coffee, right? The cue is your alarm clock. The craving is that feeling of, I need to wake up. The routine is making and drinking the coffee. And the reward? That feeling of being alert and ready to go. See? Cue, craving, routine, reward. It's happening all the time.
Now, here's where it gets really powerful. Once you start seeing this little 4-step pattern in your own life, well, that's when you can start to consciously change it. It's like someone just handed you the blueprint to your own brain, and now we're going to learn how to use it.
Okay, so we've got the blueprint. Now it's time to put on our architect's hard hat. This means making a really big shift in how we think, moving away from just chasing a finish line and instead focusing on building the road to get there.
So what's the difference between a goal and a system? Well, a goal is the result you want. I want to run a marathon. A system is the process that gets you there. I will run 3 times a week. See the difference? Goals are great for setting a direction, but it's the systems that actually get you moving. If you only focus on the goal, you're just living in this constant state of pressure until you hit it. There's this quote from James Clear, the author of Atomic Habits, that is just perfect for this. You do not rise to the level of your goals, you fall to the level of your systems. Wow. It basically means your big dreams aren't enough. When things get tough and your motivation dips, and it will, your success comes down to how good your daily processes are. So, how do you even start building a system? You start with something called a keystone habit. This is one small, almost ridiculously simple habit that kicks off a chain reaction of other good habits. It's like the first domino. Think about making your bed every morning. It's a tiny win, right? But it often leads to keeping your room cleaner, feeling more organized. It just snowballs. Okay, so we've got the right mindset. We understand the science behind the habit loop. Now let's get our hands dirty. Here are 3 super practical tools you can start using like today to build your own systems. Tool number 1, and this might be the most important one of all, start small. I'm serious. So often we fail because we get overexcited and try to change everything at once. The real secret to being consistent is to make the first step so easy it's almost silly, which brings us to what's called the 2-minute rule. Whatever new habit you want to start, just shrink it down until it takes less than 2 minutes to do. You want to read more? Don't commit to a chapter. Just read 1 page. You want to get in shape? Don't plan a whole workout. Just do 1 push-up.
The point is to make it so simple that you literally can't say no.
All right, tool number 2 is all about engineering your success. It's called Make It Obvious. We're going to hack that first step of the habit loop, the cue. Instead of relying on pure willpower, you're going to design your environment so that the good habit is the easiest, most obvious choice.
And a fantastic way to do this is with a technique called habit stacking. You just piggyback your new habit onto a habit you already do without thinking. The formula is simple. After I do my current habit, I will do my new habit. For example, after I pour my morning coffee, I will meditate for 1 minute. Boom. Your old habit becomes the trigger for your new one. It's brilliant. Okay, our final tool in the toolkit is all about momentum. How do we keep the ball rolling? This is how we make sure all our effort doesn't just fizzle out after a week.
And we're going to use something often called the Seinfeld strategy. It's super simple. You get a calendar, and every single day that you do your tiny 2-minute habit, you put a big X over that day. After a few days, you'll have a chain, and your only job from then on, don't break the chain. That visual of your progress becomes this incredibly powerful motivator.
So, we've got the mindset, the science, and the tools. Let's bring this all home with one last really powerful idea that ties it all together.
Here's the truth. Lasting change almost never happens in one giant leap. It's the result of the compounding effect of just getting 1% better every single day. These tiny atomic habits, they feel like nothing in the moment, but over time they build on each other and lead to absolutely incredible results.
And really, it all comes down to this. You don't have to completely tear down your life and rebuild it overnight. You just have to start. So I'll leave you with this question. What is the one tiny 2-minute habit you can start today to truly become the architect of your own life?